Hi there, welcome to this video. This video is all about discussing my history, my background, and my qualifications and training so that you can make informed decisions about how you use the information I contribute here and whether or not it works for you. Because a lot of times I get the question what are your qualifications, what are your training, what's your background, Marshall? People ask that so they can make informed decisions about working with me or about how they utilize the information, tools, and practices that I offer. And I support this 100% because that's what I wanted in my own journey. I'm working with my own therapists, my own healers, my own coaches, stuff like that, is their background mattered significantly to why I chose to work with them. And so it's what I'll be discussing today with you. So first and foremost, I am not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I did not train in those areas. My training actually started with a shamanic-based approach to healing trauma. I mentored under an individual, or apprenticed under an individual named Robert Wan. His website is www.sevenhawks.com. And I worked with him with my own trauma, with my own anxiety, the depression I was dealing with, and then ultimately the trauma of narcissistic abuse, neglect, abandonment, and parental loss. And over the 2 years that we did session work together and that he trained me in how to do what I do with my clients and students, as well as working with myself, I discovered how to move trauma through the body, or how to help a client move through their trauma experience without having to relocate a memory, without having to identify events, but really tuning into and connecting with the somatic or felt sense experience in the body that they were having, and then help them return to safety in that experience, where they create their own safety and connect with the underlying need they have there, and then take care of that need in the way the subconscious needs it done. That restores safety, creates unification, and helps them release that trauma energy and brings them back to a regulated state. His work is built on Peter Levine's somatic experiencing work, and so we trained using those techniques and those approaches in navigating trauma, both within myself and then under his tutelage, working with others and their trauma. Did that for January of 2008 through January of 2010. I also trained in relationship dynamics and codependency, specifically under a man named Robert Bilton, who is a therapist in Manitoba, Canada. He's retired. I don't have a website for it because he doesn't have one anymore. But he taught me relationship dynamics, but communication, conflict management, and codependent and narcissistic dynamics, and how we work through those things and where they originated from. And then I built on that work by studying Diane Paul Heller's work in attachment theory, by studying the Sedona method, which is a cognitive question-based approach in helping us reframe how we're orienting and responding to our emotional selves. And I was taught by Hale Dwoskin. It was developed by Lester Levinson. You can just Google Sedona method and you'll get a whole lot of information on it. I studied and practiced in EFT, did their certification work on that, and then additional work in trauma work, specifically with Peter Levine, Pete Walker, work, and Tara Brock's work in that arena through the NICAM, NICAMB trainings that are offered frequently here on the internet. Also did more relationship training work through the Gottman's work, specifically just reading books, understanding their concept, took a couple courses, things like that. So that's my background in this. I'm constantly exploring and learning more about these things as more information comes out, and also experimenting with my own approaches to how we address attachment needs and distress regulation, how we work through codependency both in the body and in the mind, and how we approach identity, how we approach value, worth, and fundamentally relationship with ourselves and with others, and how we build solid, sustainable relationship. And so these are things I'm exploring, developing, and always training in. So my training continues on in this. And I think that's an important component for anybody working in this field, that we're constantly growing and advancing ourselves, as well as doing our own personal work, applying what we teach and discovering for ourselves what's happening in the work for ourselves. So we're attuned, we are in our own integrity, and we are grounded in our own practices so that we can be effective for our students and our clients. So that's my background in training. A lot of people ask me what my qualifications are. Qualifications is an interesting term. You're the one who determines if I'm qualified to work with you or not. I've got training. I've got 13 years of experience, over 10,000 hours of practice and work with individuals in these areas. But ultimately, it comes down to whether or not my approach resonates with you, and whether or not you feel like this is a worthy, what's the word? There's a word here. A worthy adventure for you, that you feel like this makes sense to you, it clicks with you, and that this is aligned with what you want in your world, and that I resonate with you. I think that's one of the most biggest challenges I ever encountered, was finding coaches, therapists, things like that resonated with me, that made sense to me, and that were useful in my journey and helping me get to where I wanted to be ultimately. So that's why I'm sharing this. My approach, I'm pretty blunt. I'm highly compassionate, or I work to be very highly compassionate, very attuned to capacity that we deal with. That's one of my primary things, is assessing where a person is in their capacity, and then nurturing them through that capacity and helping them touch reality in a way that gives them hope, while also empowers them to move beyond their comfort zone, move beyond specifically what they believe is real, and touch into more of what is real for them. So I apply a lot of what's called compassionate accountability, where there is no shame, there is no guilting involved, because those are not useful approaches in healing in any way. So what it is we own our choices and actions and the consequences they create, but we frame them through compassion. It's like, well, I understand why I did this and why I chose this, and this consequence, this result, is teaching me something. It's trying to give me some wisdom. What is that wisdom? How can we apply it? So I'm very geared on the premise of curiosity, exploration, and discovery, and how we grow. I believe that we are dynamic human beings. We don't have a set identity or personality. These things develop and grow. They're dynamic and fluid. And that when we connect ourselves back to our innate curiosity and ability to explore and discover and adapt to things, this is where we really start to transform our world. I also don't believe that healing happens quick. I don't believe it happens slowly. I think healing is actually a journey, a lifelong journey of actually growth and discovery into who we are beyond what was in the past, whether that was a traumatic event, whether that was a codependent habit, whether or not that was a relationship or some sort of identity we had adopted for ourselves. So I frame my work, my courses, the videos that I share are framed and built on this premise of discovery and of growth, because that's fundamentally what I've discovered works best for me. I have yet to find that, oh, this is who I am, I can quit. No. I'm always finding out that there's more to me than there was yesterday. And that through compassion, through love, through praise and appreciation, and through respect for myself, I get to discover more of that. And that's what I aim to teach you and help you incorporate into your life, is that love, that respect, that compassion, and that discovery. Because ultimately, that's how we break free of being codependent, and we discover how to be self-respecting and live from our own personal sovereignty and autonomy. So there we go, my friends. Thank you for watching this. Let me know if you have any questions below. I will link as well my biography page on my website in the description above on Facebook, below on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And ultimately, please remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. That's the point, because you are. I'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye-bye.